Hello. It is... I don't even know. I just got back from tour and I have a bit of a sore throat, so I'm sounding super manly today. Tour was amazing. Tour was really good. I'm tired, but tour was great. We finished with a festival in Norway. Everyone had a great time. Rory was with us. He filmed everything. Oh man, it was busy and it was sick. But I learned one really important lesson. The irony is I was talking to you guys about backups in like a vlog a few weeks ago. So I was using my camera to film a bunch of footage for Rory to use in his video, and I was also taking some pictures. I was also vlogging, and I'd planned out all these lessons that I was going to kind of teach you on the road to do with like merchandise and tour management and stuff. I was importing photos into Lightroom, and Lightroom didn't import video because I hadn't selected it to, and it formatted my card after the import, so I lost. And this was like a late show in the tour as well, so I lost a load of footage, which is so unlike me. Typical. So my plan is today to like revisit all of the stuff I shot and hopefully like try to reshoot it here. It's not going to be as good, it's not going to be as practical, but yeah. Anyway, hello, I'm back. Questionable. So, excuse the sniffles, and this is my attempt to remedy the situation of losing a load of the footage while I was on tour with Frog Leap. So, here I am, and well, what wisdom, what lessons can I impart upon you from going on tour with Frog Leap, playing to, 1,000, maybe 1,500 people every night? Yeah, and so like a bunch of the things I'm going to go through here are kind of, this is more to do with like the business admin-y side of touring. So whether that's like if you're a tour manager or if you're doing merchandise or if you're just helping out, like this isn't really necessarily to do with people who are actually playing in the band, because that's not my job, so I don't necessarily feel like I can really teach much about that stuff. Although there is definitely some stuff in here that will apply to you regardless of your role while you're on tour. Okay, so number one, merchandise. Have a system for merchandise. Like when you're first starting out and you get 30 t-shirts and you just put them all in a box and that's fine, you can take it into the show. But when you get to the point where you have more than like 5 boxes of merchandise, it becomes really silly to take all of that into a show and be rooting around in the dark and not know where anything is and all of that stuff. So it's really important to, when you get to that point, have a system. And the system I like to use is where you have 5 boxes, 1 per size, so small, medium, large, extra large, double XL. And then, maybe another box for your other bits like CDs and stuff. And then in each of those boxes per size, you put an appropriate amount of each item of merchandise you're going to sell at a show. So, you're probably not going to sell 40 small t-shirts at a show. So you don't need to take 40 small t-shirts in. Maybe just take 10 of each size to begin with, or maybe 15 or 20. Depends how it goes for you. Depends how big your band is. But make a note of how many items you take in of each size, and then when the show finishes, count how many you've got left, and just keep track of that all the way through the tour, so that you can track how much you've sold versus how much cash you've got, so that you have a reference, so that when you come to count all your cash, if your stock counting spreadsheet or whatever you're using shows that you've sold £800 more t-shirts than you have in cash, then obviously there's a problem and you're gonna have to have a little fight with whoever's been selling your t-shirts. But it also gives you some really interesting information on what kind of products and what size products sell well in certain places. You see so many bands like order t-shirts for the first time and they get 30 of each size, which just isn't like how the world works. You'll sell more medium, large and XL t-shirts than you will small and double XL, depending on the kind of band you're in and depending on the location you're in. But point there is having a system for merch is super important. Victory sip of tea. Ah yeah, Okay, number 2, and this is probably an obvious one, you guys probably know this already, but have a daily itinerary, which goes out to everyone on the tour. And you can use like an app like Master Tour if you're feeling brave, or you can just put it together in like a Google Doc or something, just laying out the schedule. If you're driving somewhere, putting in the time for the drive, what time are you getting to the venue, what time do the doors open, what time can you load in, what time are you on and off stage. Just have everything for the whole tour written out in a schedule before you go, so that everyone knows where they have to be and when they have to be there. Like, that is super important. Number 3, take a picture of you guys on stage at the end of the show, so you're like, you're kneeling down or whatever, and the crowd's behind you, because this, you can capture content all the way through the tour, and that's absolutely something you should be doing, but you don't get much opportunity to immortalize what's happened at an individual show. So if you're filming it, great, but make sure you get a crowd shot at the end. Like, get a mate who's come up with you, get the merch person, get anyone at the end of the show, even if they use their phones. Like, obviously it'd be better if they have a camera, but even if they use the phone, just get everyone in nice and tight, down on the floor, crowd behind. If you've got a lights guy, get him to put lights on the crowd so that you can actually see how big the crowd is. Edit it on your phone, like put it on Instagram, and that's super important. It looks cool for you guys, it's great for the promoter and the venue, they can use the pictures, and it's great for potentially getting more gigs in the future. And it just looks badass, man. Like, you can get some wicked crowd shots. Tip number 4, for everyone who is on the tour, if you are going across a border or into another country, make sure you have a digital scan of your passport and your ID, and keep all of those somewhere safe, like on Dropbox or something like that, because you never know when you might need a passport scan or a proof of ID, and if one of you loses your passport, you can get a lot further with a scan of it than you can with nothing. So make sure everyone has a scan. Well, make sure one person has a scan, or make sure all of you have everyone's scans in Dropbox or something like that. Super important. Okay, number 5, back to merchandise. When you're taking cash from merchandise sales, don't use one of those stupid tin cash boxes that people have at backyard sales and car boot sales and what have you, because they're bright red or bright blue, so they're easy to spot from a mile off. You can break them open. Just don't do it. Like, have one of those sexy things you put around your waist, or just something that stays on your body with zips that you can secure. And don't have one of those stupid cash boxes, because that shit will get stolen. Number 6, when you're leaving a venue after you've done a show, like, tidy up a bit. Don't just leave towels and falling over beer bottles everywhere and just the whole place a mess. You're going to get a reputation as you start these things, and if you get a reputation as a band who is like clean and friendly and got out quick and all of that stuff, then great. I mean, I don't say, like, I'm not saying go mental, you don't have to do the laundry and do the dishes and stuff like that, but just leave the place in a nice manner, and I think that's just a great vibe for everyone all around. Also, if you've got a load of food on your rider and you've not eaten it and you're not taking it with you onto the tour bus or onto your van or wherever you're going, bag it all up and give it to some homeless people. The amount of food that gets left behind at gigs and probably just gets chucked in the bin by the staff at the end of the day because they've got another show tomorrow and they have to buy a whole load of new food. Like, maybe they save some milk and some bread or whatever, but all that snacks and stuff, dude, just chuck it in a bag, go give it to someone who's on the street outside. Like, that person is more than likely there and will definitely appreciate getting a load of food. So I think that's a great one. Get yourself one of these. The Shure MV88 mobile mic. They've actually got a new version now, which doesn't have it. The cable is separate, which is great because you can use it with a case and it doesn't wobble about. They're actually really good. Like, you get a pretty decent audio with those, and they've got an app so that you can adjust the gain and the field of recording and stuff like that. You could grab yourself a little Manfrotto tripod, chuck it by the sound desk maybe, or whatever, and like live stream the whole gig on Instagram. And if you want good audio, it's a really good option. I think they're like maybe less than £100. Can't remember, but Shure MV88, great little mic. Okay, next one, eating and drinking. Get some fruit in you, man. Like, you're on tour, you can eat burgers and drink beer every day, and that's a lot of fun. But I tell you what, after 20 days of doing it, you'll feel like ass. So balance it out with some good stuff, and drink plenty of water, because it's definitely an endurance rather than a sprint. and you don't want to be feeling like crap. It's just, I feel like crap now, and I've mostly stayed healthy on this tour. Had a few nights out, had a couple of late ones. Look out for each other. Like, look out for each other, dude. Especially if you're out for a while. Like, if you're out for 5 or 6 days, then everyone's usually okay, and it's kind of a short time. But if you're in like close quarters, if you're in a van for ages, or you're on a bus with each other for like 2, 3, 4, 5 more weeks, it can get pretty intense. And like, some people are much better at being around people and crowds and not having their own space than other people. So just, check in with each other once in a while, make sure you're all good, help each other out, be nice, but still, have some banter, take the piss. You're on tour. Like, it's the world's most silly holiday with your mates most of the time. But look after each other, because otherwise things can go very pear-shaped, and you don't want your drummer walking out at the middle of a show because everyone's been teasing him for 3 days and he's not had any personal space. So, Alright, what else? Oh, interesting thing. I bought an Apple Watch before I went on tour, and I was really interested to see like how healthy touring was, and like how many steps I did, how well I slept, all of that kind of stuff. So I'm not actually wearing it now, but if I record my screen on my iPhone and John overlays the stuff, I can go back to, when was it? The 16th of April until 5th of May. So I averaged, going through this, like 14,000 steps a day. Most days I hit my movement goal. I definitely hit my exercise goal, that's lying, and my standing goal. Yeah. And then sleep, where's that tracked? I didn't actually use this every day. So 16th, yeah, good sleep. Sleep on the 16th, 17th, terrible. 18th, not bad. 19th, no data. 20th, good. 21st, terrible. 22nd, really bad. 23rd, good. 24th, good. 25th, 26th, 27th, and then didn't use it for the rest. So, what can you say about that, eh? Could probably have slept a little better. What's that all about? Got up really early. Oh, I'll tell you what that is. We got up to get on the ferry? No, that would have been... Who knows? Basically, you do a lot of walking, your sleeping isn't necessarily amazing, but to be honest, I felt okay all the way through. Sorry, that's actually a bit more boring than I thought it would be. Basically, I need to sleep better when I'm on a tour bus, but I probably walk enough, so I guess that's good news. Anyway, what now? So I'm back from tour, and there's a few weeks until the festivals kick off in the summer, and that means just doing a bunch of Musicisum work. Really got to do all the post-tour accounting, financial stuff, make sure everyone gets paid, make sure all the merchandise goes back to the right places, make sure all of the gear goes back to the right places, make sure all of the videos are backed up, and Rory's got his edit going, and yeah, just taking care of all of the after bits. But really excited to press on with some Musicisum stuff, really excited to launch Max's course, and really excited to do all the things we've got coming up. We've got potentially some really good news next week. Sorry I didn't capture it, well I did capture it on tour, but sorry I lost it. I mean, what an idiot, I was just chatting to you in a video about how important backing up is, and I didn't bloody back up myself. But there you go, lesson learned. Tour was great, I'm back, glad to be back, feeling a bit rough, got my ginger tea, hope you're good. Thanks for checking in, and yeah, see you soon.